If you've been in the credit card game for a while, or maybe you've opened your fair share of credit cards, at some point you've probably canceled a credit card. But in this video, I'm going to discuss some specific credit cards that you should never cancel and 3 important factors that are going to influence that decision. And throughout this video, I'll also discuss how canceling a credit card can impact your credit score. So as always, we're just going to jump right into the video. So make sure to hit that like button and subscribe down below, as that helps support the channel and I would really appreciate it. But without further ado, let's just jump right into the video. So before I discuss some credit cards that you should never cancel and the 3 biggest reasons that are going to influence that decision, I wanted to first discuss why people decide to cancel credit cards in the first place. So there are so many different credit card options that are out there on the market that vary significantly in the benefits that they provide and the fees that they charge. But the core reason that people decide to cancel a credit card is if they are not getting enough value for the fee that they pay on that card. Sometimes people might open a card and get a ton of value from the welcome bonus, but then that card might not make sense for them long term. Or some people might even do the calculation and see that that card would provide them with long-term value, but then their spending or travel habits change, and so that card no longer gives them enough value. And that probably happened to a lot of people in 2020. But there are some things that you can do to avoid needing to cancel a credit card. And one of those things is to ease into the credit card game. What I mean by this is that you don't want to go out and get cards like the Amex Platinum as your first credit cards. And instead, it would probably make more sense if you started out with some lower tier cards, preferably credit cards that had no annual fees. And that's because 1, you will never need to cancel these credit cards. And 2, you'll build up some good credit card habits that are going to be really important to have once you start to upgrade to some higher tier credit cards in the future. The next thing you can do to avoid needing to cancel a credit card is to make sure that you're getting enough value for the fee. Now this is going to sound pretty obvious, and clearly you're not going to want to get a credit card that has a really high fee but not very much benefits. But what I mean by this is that you want to specifically write out on an Excel document or something like that all of the benefits that you'd get from a specific credit card, the fee that you need to pay, and then make sure that those benefits are going to outweigh the fee based on your own spending habits. And then another thing you can do to avoid needing to cancel a credit card is that before you apply for a new credit card, you want to make sure that that credit card matches with your spending and travel preferences. So basically, if you're someone who prefers to stay at hostels or travels on a budget, then you're probably not going to want to get the Hilton Aspire Card, because all of those Hilton-specific benefits just aren't going to benefit you as much. So those are some ways to avoid needing to cancel a credit card. But at some point, you are probably inevitably going to need to cancel a credit card. But there are some things that you need to consider before you decide to do so. And there are some specific credit cards that you never want to cancel. So I'm now going to discuss 3 factors, which in my opinion are the 3 biggest reasons to never cancel specific credit cards. The first reason to never cancel a credit card is if it is one of your oldest credit card accounts. And the reason this is the case is because of how your credit score is broken down. Basically, 15% of your credit score is going to be dedicated to the length of your credit history. And the length of your credit history is basically going to be the average age of your accounts. You want the average age of your accounts to be as old as possible, because this will translate to a longer credit history, which will then positively impact your credit score. So if you cancel an older credit card, this will decrease the average length of your credit history, which will negatively impact your credit score both short-term and long-term. So while premium credit cards like the Capital One Venture X, Chase Sapphire Reserve, and Amex Platinum may be enticing, you do need to remember that these cards do have very high annual fees, so there is a chance that you might need to cancel one of them in the future if you can't justify that fee or your spending habits were to change. And since you never want to cancel a credit card that is one of your oldest accounts, it's going to be important that your oldest credit card accounts, so the cards that you first open, are either 0 or low annual fee credit cards, so that you can make sure that you keep those accounts open. But then you'll build up a solid foundation and high credit score and can apply for some of those more premium credit cards in the future. So that brings me into the second reason to never cancel a credit card, and that's if that card does not have an annual fee, or at least a low fee that you can justify. Basically, the longer that you're able to keep your credit card accounts open, the longer your credit history and the higher your credit score. And of course, you only want to keep those credit card accounts open if you're still consistently making on-time payments and you're staying out of credit card debt. But if you're confident in your ability to make on-time payments, then it's always going to be in your best interest to keep those credit accounts open. But of course, that's only going to be if you can still justify having that credit card. So if the benefits on that card are still outweighing the fee that you are paying. And this is where credit cards that have a $0 fee can be so valuable, because you'll always be able to justify keeping those accounts open, because you'll never pay a dime on any of those credit cards. And even though the fee is $0, there's a lot of no annual fee credit cards that provide you with a lot of benefits. For instance, the Chase Freedom Unlimited is a great catch-all credit card, as you'll get 1.5x back on everything. The Chase rate and Flex is going to be great for that rotating categories, as you'll get 5x back on rotating quarterly categories, which typically includes a lot of really popular categories like grocery stores and dining. And then the City Custom Cash is going to be great for getting 5x back on the top category of your choice. The nice thing about no annual fee credit cards is that even if you graduate from using them in the future, there's still no reason to cancel them even if you don't use them anymore, because all you need to do is put a recurring charge on that credit card, and keeping that account open is only going to help you. And honestly, it's pretty pointless to cancel a no annual fee credit card because you are losing nothing from keeping it open. And even if you had a credit card that had a fee, but that fee was low, and you're able to consistently get more value out of that card than the fee that you paid, then there's also no reason to cancel those type of credit cards. For example, a card like the Chase World of Hyatt has an annual fee of $95, then you get a free night certificate on this card every year. So if you do travel a couple times a year, then you'll probably be able to build in at least one night at a Hyatt property, and that one night at that Hyatt property is going to give you more value than the $95 fee that you pay on this card. And this is exactly why the Chase World of Hyatt card is considered a keeper card. Keeper cards like the Chase World of Hyatt card are going to consistently give you more value than the fee that you pay on that card every year. So those cards are going to give you a bunch of value and help to increase your credit score by increasing the length of your credit history. Alright, so let's say that you were considering canceling a credit card, but neither of the first two factors applies to you, so it is not one of your oldest credit accounts, and it does have an annual fee. Well, the third reason to never cancel a credit card is if that credit card has the potential for a retention offer. Essentially, if you were considering canceling an annual fee credit card, then you can reach out to that specific credit card issuer. So if you had the Amex Platinum, then you would reach out to American Express customer service and explain to them that you were considering canceling your credit card and was wondering if there's any retention offer available. In some cases, the credit card issuer may want to keep you as a customer, so they may offer you some sort of retention offer, which can vary from having your annual fee completely waived or receiving a set amount of bonus points for meeting a spend requirement, or in other words, getting some sort of mini welcome bonus. Because of this, you have the opportunity to potentially get extra value from a credit card just for keeping it open for one more year. So if you're considering canceling a credit card, but one of these factors applies to you, then I would really advise you to take a step back and reconsider canceling that credit card. And if multiple of these factors apply to you, then I really think you should absolutely not cancel that credit card. But I'm really curious to hear your thoughts on canceling credit cards, so let me know down in the comments if you've ever canceled a credit card and your reason for doing so. If you got value from this video, then please make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss out on future impactful content. And if you enjoyed this video, then I think you'll enjoy these two videos that I'll put on the screen right now. Thank you all so much, and I hope you all have a great day. Peace.